it's kind of funny because everyone's almost forgotten that we don't actually have a front of shirt sponsor.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
What's happening? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. Really do hope that. And yes, welcome back to Chelsea News. Here today to discuss the front of shirt sponsor. Could that issue finally be solved with Qatar Airways? You can imagine that's serious peas. Also, Chelsea had an opportunity to sell Mudryk, or there's big German clubs coming in for Mudryk. We're going to speak about that a little bit. That's been reported by Fabrizio Romano. Sky Sports from Cave are talking about the front of shirt sponsor as well. And TBR Football, certain journalists saying Chelsea's still looking at a striker, and we've been scouting Victor Boniface, of course, the Bayer Leverkusen striker, who's actually really good. So maybe, but of course, and Nkunku's just scored a hat-trick. Jackson's in vogue at the moment. How do we feel? We're going to get into it today, so thank you for joining me as always. Thank you for supporting the content. I think we're literally on the cusp of 190,000 subscribers, which is friggin' awesome, man. So thank you all so much for that. Thank you to old subscribers and new. Just make sure you subscribe if you choose to. Hit the bell. Let's get into it. And like the video. Right then, where should we start? Let's start off with the striker, then we'll go in with the front of shirt sponsor, and then we will speak about a little bit on the Mudryk situation. I'm citing, like I said, just to reiterate, the Mudryk stuff's coming from Romano. Sky Sports, Cavers said about the front of shirt, and then Tribune of Football's talking about Victor Boniface. So let's start with that. You're right. Tribune writes, Chelsea are happy with the progress of Nicholas Jackson, but they still believe they are short of strikers, reports TBR Football. They have begun scouting Victor Boniface as a possible option before the winter transfer window as well. Wow. The 23-year-old plays for Bayer Leverkusen currently and has 3 goals and an assist in 4 Bundesliga games. The Blues have not approached the German side yet, but will continue to scout Boniface to determine if he's good enough to lead the line at Stamford Bridge. Right. If this story gets more legs, we will, of course, do an X-value stats analysis on him. He is really good. He is the leading star striker at an invincible double-winning side in the Bundesliga. He's really, really good. Let me just double-check how old he is, because I don't know how... He's 23. So he's right in the slot for these owners. They like these young... I thought he was older than that. So he's a Nigerian striker, of course. Osimhen, they've got some good players, don't they? Up front, Nigeria. Lookman as well. They got a wicked team. Anyway, so Victor Boniface is an excellent player. He was amazing last season. He is their star striker. Now, I'm not for a second saying he's bad and we don't need him. We just need to reflect for a moment on the strikers we do have, because both of them, you have to say, are trending positively. Not that Nkunku would need to trend in a positive direction, because he's widely been regarded as an elite European player for years. I mean, we're talking about that, you know, everyone was reminded yesterday, oh yeah, he scored a hat-trick against Barrow, but he also scored a hat-trick away against Manchester City in the Champions League in the Etihad. So this guy is serious, you know, he has been for ages. He's an amazing footballer. Nicholas Jackson had much criticism last season, probably some fairly, some unfairly. Everyone knew he's a sort of developing player, and he has been developing. He's been getting better and better. And of course, he's started the season very, very well. So at the moment, while we're not like Real Madrid, who just lost their star striker and they need to bring another one in. We are a team that's finding our feet, finding ourselves, building chemistry, learning about just the players, the positions that they occupy, and what's what. And kind of with that, man, everything feels like it's going pretty darn well, you'd have to say. The glaring question marks going into the season, or generally what people have said, yeah, Chelsea are good, yeah, they got loads of young, talented, you know, midfielders, defenders, attacking midfielders, but they need that striker, they need that goalkeeper, and then they'll be golden and good to go. But, you know, Rob Sanchez has started the season really friggin' well, with a couple of incredibly notable performances that made people think, actually, is this the guy? And then Jackson started the season really, really well. And then we saw a couple more great finishes from Nkunku. I think he's got 9 goals for Chelsea, Nkunku, in like 800 and something minutes. Obviously, he just scored a hat-trick against Barrow. But still, do you know what I mean? This guy scores goals. He scores goals, all kinds of goals. The question is, do we need another striker? Now, of course, the main thing to consider is neither of these guys are conventional number 9s historically. At the moment, out of the two, Jackson is the most because of how he plays and like almost like how his body is, his physicality. He's very fast, Jackson. Deceptively fast, actually. Nkunku's fast as well, but Jackson's deceptively fast. He's better. Jackson's better at holding up the ball. I think he'd be better at winning aerial duels, like knocking the ball down and and preventing the opposition from winning a header. But in terms of scoring headers, Nkunku's better. Nkunku's smaller, but Nkunku all-round finishing is better. The best finisher at Chelsea Football Club is Nkunku. The best centre forward at the moment is Nico Jackson. It's almost like if you could combine them together, you'd have like, the best striker in the world. You'd have like a sort of Benzema or something. Do you know what I mean? Like a sort of, because Jackson, they're both really good footballers as well in different ways. Really sleek, good interchange, good combinational play. You get these flicks and stuff from Jackson. They're just both great footballers. At the moment, we're in a position where we just need to see them both develop, learn about them a little bit more, especially in Nkunku. How can he develop as a centre forward? He's not a centre forward. He's a number 10 second striker, left inside forward. He's not a left winger. He's not a creative number 10 like Joao Felix or Cole Palmer. He's a direct second. He's like a Dele Alli 2016, which is like a really strange. I always use that as a sort of comparison in terms of style of player, but that's what he is. In a way, like he's what Mason Mount like should have turned into, I think. Still, what do you think? Let me know. Striker, do we need to buy? Because we all thought, yeah, let's get that striker. Do we need him now? Should we just wait? Do you believe in the strikers we got? Let's move on. Right, we will end on Mykhailo Mudryk, but Sky Kava tweets this. Chelsea are in talks with Qatar Airways and 2 other major airlines about a front of shirt sponsorship deal. Let's turn off that transition there. Chelsea started the season without a main shirt sponsor for the 2nd season in a row, might I add. After Infinite Athlete deal ran out, no Champions League has made it more difficult to find the right deal. Okay. So this is pretty wild how we've got into we'll get into October without a front of shirt sponsor. It's very strange because they seem to like not really care that much, Chelsea. I mean, even just put in like some random placeholder for very little money while you negotiate the season one. They really don't mind. Maybe they found shirt sales have been really, really high with our sponsor on. Certainly last season I bought two shirts because they didn't have sponsors on. I think I bought the 1st and 3rd kit. I bought the Trivago training kit as well. I'm just looking at them all hanging up now. Haven't bought any kits this season because the away kits are really nice, but I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? They're seemingly okay with not having a front of shirt sponsor for a bit. Like, yeah, we'll just see what happens. We'll buy it. Like, also, I feel like the main issue here is the negotiating position from the prospective sponsors. They need to believe that the trajectory Chelsea are on is so positive in terms of the sporting sense that they will be representing their companies, these sponsors, in the highest of European competitions for, say this on a 5-year deal, right? Chelsea, of course, qualified for Europa. If we finish in the top 4 this season and we've got all these good players and they look like they're getting better, prospective sponsors will be like, yeah, Chelsea are just good now. Chelsea are good. I'd say Qatar Airways will be on the front of a Chelsea shirt. That Joao Felix and Nkunku, Cole Palmer, Nico Jackson, who's just getting better and better and better. All these young players, cards on FIFA are getting better. Pedro Neto, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez and Lavia is starting for Belgium and really, really good. And, even like Mudryk, who we'll get onto, is an icon for Ukraine. They're like, right, we've got the superstars, the icons, the high-profile players, the high-profile brands, assets, and now they're playing at the highest European competition. Cool. Now, Chelsea, you can have a deal for £60 million per year from our front of shirt sponsorship, where maybe at the moment you're getting they're trying, this is me guessing and theorizing and doing a thought exercise. Maybe certain sponsors have approached Chelsea saying, we'll give you a 5-year deal, 40 million a year. We think that's very fair, it's good money, it's money you can't turn down. And maybe Chelsea wants 60 million, and then the negotiating position will be, well, in the Champions League, and everyone's good again now, and the Premier League's super tough. But who knows what's going to happen with this whole Man City thing as well. If, for example, if they do get kicked out the league, I don't know if that can happen or will happen, then that's another big player out. So Chelsea immediately become a bigger player. There's a lot to consider and wait out here. So Qatar Airways, I mean, it's Qatari money, isn't it? There's a lot of, didn't they sponsor PSG as well? Look, I mean, these are the big players, and this is the big potential sponsors that Chelsea and indeed other European elite super clubs will be negotiating with to try and get the most money out of. The aesthetic, I don't think it's too bad actually. I think the it's not like a vulgar shaped logo. I'm looking at it now. Could work. Obviously, I'll put this image in the thumbnail that you've probably seen that someone mocked up as a concept. Let me know what you think about the front of shirt sponsor situation. All right, let's end on Mikhail Mudryk then. Of course, got an assist yesterday in Chelsea's 5-0 win against Barrow. If you're yet to see my match review of the Nkunku hat-trick Barrow game, please do go check that out. Seek it out on this channel. It's good fun. Right, so Romano has said this. Chelsea had the opportunity to sell Mikhail Mudryk this summer. He's down bad as well. It's like, he did some stuff last season, but, there's actually a buyer's market for Mudryk because a lot of clubs will see the raw potential and they'll back themselves to get out of him, but also maybe play to his strengths more. And obviously, Bundesliga, transitional league. German clubs, transitional, possession up, down. That is Mudryk's game down to a T, right? So a German club offered a concrete possibility, but Chelsea said no. They keep trusting in his potential. They want to see him developing a development in him. Also with the coaching staff. Mudryk's performances this season will be important for his future. Yeah, no shit, mate. It does feel like make or break for Mudryk. It was a frustrating game again for him yesterday because he did a couple of good things. He did a couple of just wasn't there when he should be. And then he got a basic assist for Neto, but it was what you want from a left winger. That cutback, that sort of less of a cutback, more squaring it, wasn't he? And he did that. It's a basic thing you want from a winger in that position when you're on the attack, but he executed it. We've seen him do fleetingly amazing things on the ball, like dribbles and wonder goals and hits the ball really hard and yeah, great. But at this level in the Premier League, at this landscape, you just need to be so refinedly coached and confident and calm, and he's just seemingly none of those things at the moment. I get it. Enzo Maresca, the Chelsea manager, said, look, at the moment, left wing, Sancho, Mudryk, right wing, Neto, Noni, striker, and Nkunku, Jackson, number 10, Palmer, Felix. Great. And to be honest, if you get a little bit more out of Mudryk, I mean, it's elite, isn't it? It does interest me that it was a German club to come in for him, because I do think if there's one league in Europe that would just benefit from him straight away, that wants to play the ball into the left channel on transition, it would be a Bundesliga side, maybe a 4-2-2-2, maybe Leipzig or something like that. And he's just the guy who runs in behind on the left and just damages them in transition and counter-attacks. Chelsea don't play like that. Maybe Brentford could come in for him and he could partner in Burmo in Vis's absence. People are joking, saying, oh, he's gaining confidence against the League Two side. The thing is, now the pressure's off him, that he's not a starter. Right, I know he's wearing Chelsea's number 10, but he's not a starter. Jadon Sancho is the starter. Watch how he plays, watch how he dribbles. you will be playing in the Conference League, the Cups, and you can build your confidence back and, you know, score the odd goal and quietly until you have that moment. Like, you know, that goal. Obviously, that goal he scored for Ukraine to qualify for the European Championships, that was a moment for him. Everyone was so happy. That was like, he's an icon. Every time he gets the ball for Ukraine, where they cheer him. I just wonder, even if he has that moment again at Chelsea, like scores that goal, how long does it last? You know, that debut against Liverpool, we all thought, ruddy heck, we got a proper player on our hands here. Like, God, yeah, Arsenal must be fuming watching how this man's moving on the pitch at Anfield. I think it was at Anfield or was it Chelsea? Anyway, regardless, against Liverpool, I think it might have been Anfield. He just looked devastating. He looked terrifying. And we all got so excited. And again, in between a few moments, but then just these... It's not even when he skies it and just hits it out of nowhere and skies it, because lots of players do that, right? It's just the floating absence in games. It does seem like this is the season. This is the evaluation season for Mudryk. I am interested to read this to you guys because, like I said, the German connections. I thought he'd be an instant useful asset for a German club, a big German club, like a Stuttgart, like a Leipzig, like a Dortmund. You know, I don't know if it was Bayern Munich, but because obviously they've got amazing young wingers. So yeah. It is like make or break season for Mudryk, but it's interesting to hear this from Romano because the interest for Mudryk remains. Even if Chelsea make a little loss on him, which would be expected, people might expect a big loss, but there's still a big interest in Mudryk as an asset, as a player to buy, which might tell you that's a reason alone why we should persist with him. Anyway, they're the 3 stories we've spoken about today, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Please leave them there. Thank you for liking and subscribing in the meantime. Hit the bell if you choose to subscribe. I do hope to see you back here on the channel very soon. Love you lots. Peace.